Hi everyone, it's Marissa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a grain-free puff pancake. So puff pancakes are a really fun thing to make. Kids really love them. They're great for breakfast or like a snack, or even you can dress them up and be like a dessert type of an item. And if you're not eating grains, this is a recipe that you're going to want to know about because it's just as delicious. I think it looks very similar, tastes very similar, and I think you're really gonna like it. So let's jump in and get started. First thing that I'm going to do is put butter. I go ahead and use an entire 1 cup of butter in the bottom of my 9x13 baking dish, and I'm going to put this into the oven while I'm mixing up the batter so that this can melt. Now, I do like to keep an eye on it while it's in there just to make sure it's not getting too hot and burning, but I'm usually using a package of cold butter right out of the refrigerator, so the time that it takes to mix up the batter is usually good for this to just get nice and completely melted without getting too hot and burning. So I'm going to stick that into the oven. And then while that is melting, I'm going to go ahead and mix up the batter. Now, when I make this, I normally like to do it in my regular blender. You guys who've been with me before know that I have the big Wildside Blendtec blender that I love, and that actually is being serviced right now. The engine was starting to sound funny, so I had to send it away to be repaired. And so I'm going to be using an immersion blender this time, which doesn't work as well, but it's gonna work. These are actually some duck eggs that a friend of ours gave us. It looks like we only have 2 left. I was thinking we had more than that, but so 2 of the eggs are gonna be duck eggs. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to need 12 eggs for this. So I'm just gonna start by cracking those into my pitcher. For an immersion blender, I like something with taller sides, so that's why I have this pitcher instead of just doing everything into my bowl. And like I said, the regular blender is just definitely the way to go because you just toss everything in, blend it up, and you're good. But since I'm without that today, I'm just going to do kind of half and half. So I'm going to start with 6 eggs. But 12 eggs is what we're going to be using total. And then the amount of butternut squash. Now this can be any winter squash. Butternut squash is usually the easiest, just to be able to easily get a nice large amount, but you can also use acorn squash or delicata or any nice sweet winter squash. And then as far as amounts of squash, usually what I will use, it can be kind of flexible, it can be kind of what you have on hand, but what I will usually use for amounts is 1 large butternut squash. So you could use a couple smaller ones, or kind of just, what I'll oftentimes do is we'll have winter squash with like dinner the night before, and then I will take whatever squash is left over and make a puff pancake with that. So it's kind of flexible. So I'm just going to scrape all this out of here and put it in, again going half and half since don't have my nice big blender. And I have to make sure that I can easily mix with my immersion blender and not have everything overflow on me. But again, the recipe is going to be 12 eggs and 1 large butternut squash or whatever you have on hand. And then besides the winter squash and eggs, the other thing that I like to add is some salt. Probably a good 1/4 teaspoon. And then some cinnamon I like to add also. Probably about half a teaspoon. And then in that amount of time, the butter that was cold from the refrigerator initially, after sitting in the oven all that time, is at the perfect stage. This is exactly what you want the butter to look like. Completely melted, hot enough that there's like that crust forming on the top, but nowhere near starting to burn or anything. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pour my batter right into that melted butter. And then this is going into my 425 degree Fahrenheit preheated oven. And then depending on the amount of squash that you're using, usually takes around 35 to 45 minutes for it to bake. You might have to adjust that a little bit, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done so that you know what to look for. So here it is out of the oven. You can see if you've made puff pancakes with flour or sourdough before, those puff up a lot bigger, but hey, this puffs up really well, I think, and it's super delicious. So now you can go ahead and serve it. We like to do different things for toppings. You can drizzle some honey on the top, you can have some berry, you can make like a cooked berry syrup type of a thing by cooking some berries with a little bit of water on the stove until it's like a syrup and drizzle that over, or you can do fresh fruit with it, or you can just have it on its own. To make sure that it's done, you just want to jiggle it a little bit, and you see how there's kind of cracks in the top, and then when you jiggle it, it's firm, it like wiggles with it. There's not like a loose, runny center at all. So as long as everything's nice and firm, then you know it's done and good to go. If it was still a little bit runny in the middle, then you just pop it back in the oven for 5 minutes or so until it is done. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed seeing that, and I hope that you try it and enjoy it. If you do, leave me a comment and let me know. You can also tag me on Instagram with your pictures of what you've made, and I always love seeing what you guys are making and enjoying. Also check out that description box for links to free ebooks and other goodies. I also wanted to mention that very soon I'm opening up something new. It's a coaching subscription, and it's going to have live Q&A sessions with me, group Zoom calls, exclusive discounts, and there's going to be a link in the description box down below where you can sign up to be on the wait list so that you can find out more information and know when the doors to this open. But I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really fun and very helpful. So definitely check out that link and be watching for more details on that. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else you think would enjoy it, and if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.